Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Ansel here on a Tuesday. Real quick, Eastern Panhandle. You still have a major heat risk up to that today before we get into this cold front. And as it does so, plan for some rather likely chances of rain and storms, so much so we're watching for flash flooding. Most of our state here, find your spot if you're in the green on this map. That's a flood watch. Starts at 1 p.m. today for the most part, and check locally. They either last until 11 o'clock tonight or 2 a.m. tomorrow. There's going to be a risk of excessive rain that could lead to some flash flooding potential. Rain accumulation generally in the state ranges from 1/4 to 2 inches with locally higher amounts. So enough for a slight risk of excessive rain. Scattered flash flooding is in that potential risk for the forecast, and also an enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms. Numerous severe storms are expected this afternoon through this evening. Swaths of damaging winds are the primary threat again, but large hail, and can't rule out a spin up of a tornado. Had a value of 87, low at 66 in Charleston yesterday. Some isolated storms possible in the morning, but our main cold front comes in from the northwest and hits our West Virginia skies not until late tonight or tomorrow morning. Charlotte 94 in your Fly Saber forecast. It starts at home. 95 Orlando, 92 in Atlanta with a chance of a shower. Panhandle to Panhandle. Rainstorms likely, risk of severe and flash flooding. To the east, still hot, humid. Highs near 90 for some of you. Central areas, risk of severe weather and some heavy rain. To the south, risk of severe and heavy rain. Again, our next cold front from the northwest doesn't move in until overnight and around the morning drive time tomorrow. Showers and storms end sometime likely in the morning, so a slight chance on Wednesday. Thursday's a quiet day, highs 70s and 80s and sunshine, and then we warm up a little for the weekend, highs mid-80s with some slight chances of passing rain and thunder.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
When the weather guy's excited, you know it's no good for us. We'll get the latest on a big storm system headed our way. We'll tell you about a partnership in Doddridge County expanding internet availability to students within the school system, and Mike McKenna will drop by. He's a little late to the party on term limits and age limits in Congress. We'll talk about it all. It's MetroNews Talkline. We're underway.
Do not attempt to change the station. You are surrounded. We interrupt this program to bring you an emergency news bulletin. Repeat, this is an emergency bulletin. Keep your radio turned on.
From the studios of WVRC Media and the Metro News Radio and Television Network, the voice of West Virginia, comes the most powerful show in West Virginia. This is Metro News Talkline with Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows.
Check set lineup link. Activated Telos telephone. Switch network control from Charleston to Morgantown.
Stand by. Cue Dave and TJ. You're on. Metro News Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Welcome to the Encova Insurance Studios. Gang's all here. Dave in Morgantown, TJ in Charleston. Jake Link, our video producer, and producer Ethan is handling the audio. We appreciate you being part of our day, or letting us be part of your day. If you're listening in on one of our great radio affiliates in and around the state of West Virginia, or if you're watching on the Metro News TV app. By the way, you can download that to your favorite mobile device, smart TV, and get all the Metro News programming we have to offer. Coming up this morning, Jared Halpern will stop by. We will get an update with Brad McElhinny on the latest Greenbrier legal filings. And later, Mike McKenna, conservative columnist, Washington Times columnist, will join us as he weighs in on term limits and age limits. We'll get into that coming up second hour of the program. 304-TALK 304 is the text line. 800-765-8255 is the phone number if you would like to participate throughout today's episode. Say good morning, TJ Meadows down in Charleston. Good morning, sir.
If the powers that be ever let term limits, age limits on the ballot for constitutional amendment, it will pass with ease. Mark it down. I said it 10:08, 38 seconds on Tuesday, whatever today is, the 21st of July.
We will get into it. It's probably never going to happen because why would you make a law that says you have to leave office? But I agree with you. Everybody seems to like them. For everybody else's lawmakers, by the way. Everybody else's lawmakers are too old and need to go. Ours are yours, mine, the individual. Mine's usually okay. Anyway, second hour, that is coming up. All right, we have a very excited meteorologist, MetroNews meteorologist Bryan Hughes, joining us this morning as a big low-pressure system is moving toward the region or something like that. I just, ripped off what another meteorologist said earlier this morning. Bryan, good morning.
Well, good morning to you.
Hey, wait.
Hold on. Magic. There we go.
You're not sitting in the right place, Hughes. Jeez.
Well, yeah, there's this whole contract thing where I cannot be on camera yet.
Okay.
So I got to sit in the corner.
All right.
I apologize.
You're fine.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right, what's going on?
Well, it's going to be dicey today. We do have thunderstorms that have already developed this morning, stretching along Corridor G from near Pikeville, Kentucky, all the way up to Charleston, and then up I-79 all the way up to Weston, back into the Sutton area. And this is not the big story right now. These are just showers and storms that are developing ahead of the line. What we do have is this afternoon thunderstorms that are capable of producing very gusty winds, also capable of producing isolated tornadoes. And I'm going to say isolated. We have probably the initial indications that the supercells that are out ahead of the main line will produce some tornadoes. And then we've also got, and that's probably where we would only see our hail chances and those that are associated with the tornado. Otherwise, we're looking at just a very active afternoon, evening with a lot of heavy rain. Significant amounts of lightning for today. As a matter of fact, our lightning forecast model stuff is off the charts for today for the amount of lightning we're going to see. Matter of fact, I'd be very interested to see the lightning strike count once we get through tonight. But most of this is going to happen probably as we've got showers and storms right now that are up across Wheeling. Back up to Weirton, you've got some light rain showers. You're at 72. Wheeling, 74 with cloudy skies, rain off to the west. And then we got thunderstorms that are all around Columbus, Ohio. Those are all moving off to the east. So Panhandle, Morgantown, you've got some sprinkles just off to the north and west of you. We're going to have some light showers to kick things off for the first part of the day, but the thunderstorms this afternoon, this evening are going to be significant.
Bryan, let's talk about what this is not. I think there's some misinformation out there. Some folks are using the dreaded D word, derecho from 2014. Possible, not possible?
If there was a derecho today, we would need temperatures that would be in the hundreds. Because that is what definitely produces that. And we need a lot of sunshine across all of Ohio to get it to go in like that. You could have a very low end derecho today if the conditions were right. The conditions are not there. So in July and August, that's when you would have your best opportunity to have a derecho. But this is not that setup at all. So, so for the people who are saying derecho, no, we're not looking at that. And besides, 2014 was the high end. Mm-hmm. It was the grand poobah of derechos for West Virginia. So, and you lived through that. I lived through that. Most of us listening here lived through that. That's not going to happen today.
Bryan Hughes joining us, MetroNews meteorologist. So what regions, what areas should be on the lookout today, especially for possible tornadic activity?
I really think that just about everybody, probably Northern Panhandle, you're probably out of the clear for the most part for the tornadic activity. Now, could we still have it? Yes, we absolutely could. But I think you are going to be in more of a stable atmosphere. Morgantown, I think you have a possibility as we get 3, maybe 4 o'clock this afternoon, because that's when the supercells could be possible out ahead of the main line, and 3 o'clock across the Ohio River Valley. Yes, that could be possible, all the way up to 6 o'clock this evening as you go further south. But the line then starts to move through as we go deeper into the afternoon, like quitting time, 5 o'clock. We're starting to see that line really developing across the Ohio River Valley, all the way back up to near Morgantown. And then as we get closer to 6 and then 7 o'clock, the state's just inundated with showers and storms, especially the central part, southern part, into the eastern panhandle. So anywhere between now and about 1 o'clock, you're in pretty good shape. Yeah, there's going to be a couple of showers, a thunderstorm or so. I've just got a notification that there's lightning just right outside the studios here. So we have to watch for that for the day during the first part to middle part of the day. But it's going to be any time after 1, 2, 3 o'clock that we have to really watch those thunderstorms firing up. And we've got to watch to the north and to the west of us all across the region.
Talk to the audience about their day. How should you prep, things to do, get ready, etc.?
More than anything, make sure everything's just tied down. Because that's, and when I say tied down, the trash cans. You don't want to donate to your neighbor the new trash can you have, or you might want your neighbor's trash can
or
from
what's
up the
in
road.
it.
Yeah, exactly. so those are things you got to think about. Tying the trash cans down, just making sure everything is tied down, because there's going to be a lot of wind with these storms today. If you don't get wind, you'll be lucky today. But we're going to have a breezy afternoon, and the storms are going to kick those up. Also, make sure. More than anything, make sure that you're prepped and ready with any drains that are near your neighborhood or that might be just outside your house. Let's say if you're at the bottom point of the hill and that's where it goes into the culvert, the drain, the ditches, things of that nature. Make sure those are cleaned out and ready to go, because you're going to have a lot of water that's going to be flowing today, not just with the rain showers and storms that we had that we are having now, but you got to think about what happened over the weekend. We had a lot of rain across the region. So we're waterlogged right now. So that initial storm that comes through, it's going to start to fill the gutters up and such, but it might be the second storm that's going to be the one that definitely brings the water on up, because everything is already waterlogged. You've already got it moving along, but now you're starting to get the water table is all the way up to the surface now. So you've got a problem there.
Hey, Bryan, random weather question. Can you predict or how do you predict where hail will occur?
Typically what we're looking at, so we look like today, the hail threat is very low with the line of storms, because the atmosphere is so warm at the mid and upper levels. Typically, we see our freezing line drops a little bit lower on days like this, but not today. Today, the atmosphere is just too warm. But the supercells, and those are the individual storms that are away from the main line, those go very, very high in the atmosphere. Those in the Great Plains, we've seen those go 60, 70, even up to 80,000 feet high. We had a couple of years ago in West Virginia, we had storms that were topping at around 60,000 feet. That is very, very unusual. If we do get a thunderstorm that is ahead of the main line, you can get some hail out of it. That'd be the best opportunity. But the main line is going to have more heavy rainfall, significant amounts of lightning, and also the very gusty winds associated with it.
You said significant amounts of lightning. Unpack that a little bit. Sounds like abnormal.
Yes.
So like, how much are you expecting versus what is normal from a system like this?
I mean, normally you would just see just general lightning strikes that would be along the leading edge, but you're looking at lightning strikes that are going to be deeper into this into the complex, because we have just so much juice in the atmosphere. This is very much a Florida style system as far as the tropics are concerned. So you're going to have that sort of lightning, just as constant. I mean, you can literally just look at the sky, especially if we were to go at night and this was moving through, you just see a constant barrage of lightning strikes associated with it. But some of the forecast models that I've looked at today have been sort of off the charts. We do not normally see this amount of lightning this widespread across the state. So there's going to be a number of power outages just from lightning strikes alone, let alone the wind.
So we're talking ground to air. We're not talking just flashes.
Yeah, we're not talking just flashes, cloud to cloud.
Or air to
stuff.
ground.
Yeah, we're going cloud to ground lightning strikes, a significant number of them today.
MetroNews meteorologist Bryan Hughes. Like I said, when the weather guy's excited, it's bad for the rest of us.
I've been here since 5 a.m. I'm excited.
All right, keep us posted throughout the day, Bryan. Appreciate it, buddy.
Sounds good.
MetroNews meteorologist Bryan Hughes. Coming up, we'll go to D.C., check in with Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern, the latest on Iran and what the president may be considering. We'll get into that right after this. Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
They say you can't take the lottery with you. But now, you can play anywhere, anytime with iPlay, the West Virginia Lottery's official app. From Cooper's Rock to the Greenbrier River, from the bleachers to your living room, iPlay goes where you do. Safe, simple, and always West Virginia proud. Play anywhere, anytime. Download iPlay today. iPlay, the fun, secure way to play. Wherever life takes you. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal? And why not now? Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
The 2026 West Virginia Prep Football Showcase partnered with Coalfields & Company.
The premier program across all classes in the state.
Analysis from Travis Jones and Joe Brigado. See the players and program shaping the 2026 season. Watch high school football athletes compete in the 40-yard dash, 5-10-5 shuttle, and broad jump. Streaming live July 25th on Metro News Television, YouTube, and Facebook.
Of course, the LVA was brought into my life because I had a severe heart attack in November of 2024. And then I entered into congestive heart failure.
Where he was in the course, we really had to go towards an LVAD.
At that point, I was committed. At that point, I wanted to get better, and I wanted to see what this machine was going to do for me.
With this therapy, he's thriving, doing well. And not only is he living, he's thriving.
Need a truck that's ready for work, weekends, and everything in between? Right now at Dan Cava GMC, get up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierra 1500, or save up to $4,000 off all new GMC Canyon Elevations, offering bold styles, advanced technology, and everyday practicality. Come explore our all-new GMC Yukons, built for busy families and big adventures. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop Thorod.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
Metro News Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Brad McElhinny will join us. Bottom of the hour, we'll get the latest on the Greenbrier legal filings. Lawyers for the Greenbrier asking the court for time. Time is what he's indicating. Brad McElhinny will join us coming up bottom of the hour. A couple of stories over at WVMetroNews.com. Human remains in Kanawha County have been identified. 3 dead, 1 injured in a Cabell County stabbing. That reported earlier this morning. 3 people dead, a 4th person injured. Cabell County Sheriff Doug Adams says deputies responded to the call just before 5 a.m. at a residence on Hickory Grove Road in Lesage, near State Route 2. They found 2 women and a man dead, a 2nd man injured. The injured man taken to the hospital. Investigators are at the scene. An investigation obviously underway. That's all the information we have there over at WVMetroNews.com this morning. Couple of text messages, 304-TALK-304. I'm in Morgantown. I heard about 25% of what the meteorologist had to say because he kept cutting in and out. Did he? That sounded fine in my...
Sounded good here.
It sounded good in my ears. I apologize. Nothing he said came through. He might be at the studio, but he sounds like he's on a cell phone on 580. You better have Ethan try to call him back.
Well, now let's think about it. He was talking and saying as he was speaking, he was monitoring lightning strikes in the Charleston area. Maybe that had something to do with what's going on in the tower.
That's interesting. All right, we'll check on it. I would tell Ethan to get on it, but I have no confidence that he would be able to remedy the problem. Sorry, Ethan. But okay, good to know. All right, that's all the text messages. People complaining. Look, here, I can sum up what Bryan had to say. It's going to rain. It's going to storm.
A lot.
It's going to be windy. We've done this before. Take precautions. I was just worried about the hail, to be honest, and selfishly because I don't want my truck damaged by hail today. I really just don't want to go down that road. That's all. That's why I just want to know where it was going to hail. And Bryan has assured me it's not.
May I ask you, do you have like a drawer at the house? You know, the drawer everybody has, it's got a flashlight in it, maybe some candles, that kind of thing. Do you have a drawer?
I don't necessarily have a drawer. All of that stuff is in where I keep the tools, you know.
Sure.
It's where the supplies are.
Yeah, but you know where it's at.
I do. I know where to find it. Now, whether the batteries are any good, TJ, that's a whole other. We do have a light. Jenna bought this years ago. It's a crank. To charge the battery, you crank it.
Uh-huh.
So it's got a flashlight. It's got a radio. It doesn't take like a D-cell battery. You got to keep winding the thing up every once in a while. So we've got that in case of storms.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I've seen those, the crank deal. And then I'll tell you, the little batteries, my wife has bought some of these. They're like the size of your phone, and they even are magnetic that go on the back of the phone. So if you need a charge, you know what I'm talking about? Those things are handy. Very handy to put in your kit if you need it.
Okay. Many of you texting in. Yes, meteorologist report was bad audio. It's definitely breaking up. Only heard about a third of what he was saying. Cut out across all affiliates. Wow. Okay.
Do we have like major issues here?
Are we having issues? Look, I am not the engineer. We can blame Ethan for it. Ethan probably kicked a cord out of the wall when he was having a schmisket this morning in the studio, which he probably shouldn't have been doing anyway. Let's go with that theory. I can't confirm any of that, TJ, but we can go with that theory. All right. Well, we'll work on it. Rick, you have been notified. Let us know. 304-TALK, 304, the text line. A couple of notes as we may have missed Halpern this morning. U.S. and Iran, that conflict continues 10 straight days now of strikes. And, TJ, reading the reports this morning, watching the news, the president strongly considering, it looks like, ramping up the strikes on Iran. I just saw Rhett Baer on Fox News a couple of minutes ago. He could be considering actual full-scale war. Remember, to this point, this has all been airstrikes. No ground troops were ever being considered to this point. But there's certainly at least the thought from the reports that I've read today that there could be a major escalation in what's going on with the operations in Iran.
And I heard audio this morning from, I believe the title was Iran's defense minister, part of their Revolutionary Guard, that paraphrased said, "We're ready to welcome them." Talking about ground troops raises a question in my mind. What do you do with someone who is so eager for a conflict that they would invite ground troops and talk a good game? And I don't think they're just talking a game. I think these folks actually want conflict. How do you deal with those kinds of people? This thing is set to spiral, folks. And at the same time, we read in the Wall Street Journal this morning that Iran has moved nuclear centrifuges into what is called Pickaxe Mountain, I believe, Dave. So here we go again. All of this stalling. They took a bunch of oil out of the strait, something like $9 billion worth of oil in the time that we were going back and forth on this negotiating. It's all one big delay tactic. How do you deal with someone who doesn't have the same fears that you do? Or put a better way, I guess, how do you deal with someone who doesn't value life the way that you do?
Well, you know the answer to that question. I know the answer to that question.
What?
You have to hit them. And you just absolutely – the only thing they respect in that culture is strength. And if you show any sign of weakness, and I believe from reading what others, other commentators, other experts on this, the deal, the MOU that was so highly touted, and the reason so many people didn't like it, they interpret that as weakness. They interpret that as weakness. And all Iran has to do is exist. All the regime has to do is exist, and they can claim that as a win. They only understand one thing. And I don't know if the American people have an appetite for what it would take for absolute victory in Iran at this point?
It's a good question. And look, Iran doesn't have the same concerns.
Sure.
I mean, it's a dictatorship. No one values democracy over there. So it doesn't matter what their people think. It doesn't matter if their people are up for it or not. Whereas here it does. So, we're somewhat handicapped, I guess you could say, from the start. And I agree with you. I don't know that Americans are in this. I don't know that Americans fully realize what is at stake or appreciate who we're dealing with, frankly, in order to be geared up for it. So the White House is going to have a tough time here if it does want to escalate. But same token, what do? The only thing these folks respect is a punch in the mouth.
I agree with you. Absolutely agree with you. And again, do we have the appetite for that? And I don't know how the neighbors are going to react either. I mean, Jordan's getting hit. Saudi Arabia is now being impacted. The only one they're not going after is Israel, and I think we know the answer why, because Israel will not hesitate to just absolutely unload if Iran were to do something with Israel. So all of that, and Jared Halpern, again, probably taking in a press conference at the White House. That's usually why he's unavailable. We'll let it slide this time.
We were trumped.
Literally. All right, coming up, Brad McElhinny, the latest on the Greenbrier legal filings. There was an update this morning on that show cause order. We'll talk to Brad next. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. It's 10:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Ansel here on a Tuesday. Real quick, Eastern Panhandle. You still have a major heat risk up to that today before we get into this cold front. And as it does so, plan for some rather likely chances of rain and storms, so much so we're watching for flash flooding. Most of our state here, find your spot if you're in the green on this map. That's a flood watch. Starts at 1 p.m. today for the most part, and check locally. They either last until 11 o'clock tonight or 2 a.m. tomorrow. There's going to be a risk of excessive rain that could lead to some flash flooding potential. Rain accumulation generally in the state ranges from 1/4 to 2 inches with locally higher amounts. So enough for a slight risk of excessive rain. Scattered flash flooding is in that potential risk for the forecast, and also an enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms. Numerous severe storms are expected this afternoon through this evening. Swaths of damaging winds are the primary threat again, but large hail, and can't rule out a spin up of a tornado. Had a value of 87, low at 66 in Charleston yesterday. Some isolated storms possible in the morning, but our main cold front comes in from the northwest and hits our West Virginia skies not until late tonight or tomorrow morning. Charlotte 94 in your Fly Saber forecast. It starts at home. 95 Orlando, 92 in Atlanta with a chance of a shower. Panhandle to Panhandle. Rainstorms likely, risk of severe and flash flooding. To the east, still hot, humid. Highs near 90 for some of you. Central areas, risk of severe weather and some heavy rain. To the south, risk of severe and heavy rain. Again, our next cold front from the northwest doesn't move in until overnight and around the morning drive time tomorrow. Showers and storms end sometime likely in the morning, so a slight chance on Wednesday. Thursday's a quiet day, highs 70s and 80s and sunshine, and then we warm up a little for the weekend, highs mid-80s with some slight chances of passing rain and thunder.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
The 2026 West Virginia Prep Football Showcase partnered with Coalfields and Company.
The premier program across all classes in the state.
Analysis from Travis Jones and Joe Brigado. See the players and programs shaping the 2026 season. Watch high school football athletes compete in the 40-yard dash, 5-10-5 shuttle, and broad jump. Streaming live July 25th on Metro News Television, YouTube, and Facebook.
All right, couple of things. Number one, talk to producer Ethan, and it is not his fault. He did not kick a cord out of the door or out of the wall. But we are having some satellite issues across the network, so if you're listening in on one of our great radio affiliates, we apologize. We are working on that. Secondly, error on the host, TJ. Error on the host for... this is what my papa would have called running your machine in high and your mind in low. In this case, it's running your calendar in high and your mind in low. Yeah. I realized the mistake I made when Jared Halpern called in promptly at 10:33 this morning. And I said, oh, that's because I asked for Jared Halpern at 10:33 this morning, not 10:20. We will get to Brad. He'll be back in just a moment. Let's go to Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern in Washington, D.C. Good morning, Jared.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, we were just assuming, you were probably interviewing the president or breaking some major story, and then I realized, oh yeah, I asked for him at 10:30 this morning and not his usual 10:20.
I can only go by, the list in front of me.
I would love to say it was because...
to make executive decisions on when to call in the radio programs anymore. They give me a list and I follow it.
Well, thank you very much for following the list. I will try to do the same the next time. All right, Jared, what's the latest? 10th straight night of strikes against Iran. Is the president considering a major escalation?
Well, it certainly seems like it, because what we have seen over the last 10 nights, you're right, are these sustained airstrikes, but they have been limited in the scope and the geography. They have primarily targeted the types of facilities that Iran was using along the coast to go after ships in the Strait of Hormuz and to fire over the strait into Jordan and Qatar, the UAE, U.S. partner countries. The question is whether or not you're going to see this widen into what we saw in the spring, where it was much more widespread airstrikes targeting facilities around the country. There is certainly reporting out there that President Trump is considering that, though a decision has not yet been made. And I think part of the reason is because there are a lot of different kind of factions in Iran that are sending mixed messages, that want to negotiate a deal, that don't want to negotiate a deal, that want to appear defiant, that don't want to appear defiant. And I think that because of that, the diplomacy has been especially challenging. And so that is certainly a calculation that the president's taking. And listen, I think there's a political calculation as well. Over the weekend, at least 3 U.S. service members were killed as a result of Iranian strikes across the Middle East. Gas is now back up, national average, about $4 a gallon. And so, there are political calculations and the human calculation to take into consideration. The Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Kane, are both in front of a Senate panel today as they make their budget request, asking for a lot more money, especially the supplemental spending bills to help pump up U.S. inventory and stockpiles amid the Iran war. And they are going to face questions, no doubt, from Democrats and Republicans about what the strategy here is, both short-term and long-term.
Jared, it seems more complexity this morning as we read in the Wall Street Journal that Israel believes Iran has moved nuclear centrifuges into Pickaxe Mountain. Anything from the White House? What more can you tell us about this?
The White House has not said much about Pickaxe, although that would certainly be an indication that the president has made a decision on widening this. If you start to see these strikes at Pickaxe Mountain, and Pickaxe is much like the other types of nuclear facilities that have been hit by the U.S. They are deep underground. It would likely require a major bombardment to like what you saw last year in Operation Midnight Hammer, right, where those B-2s dropped a bunch of bombs on the nuclear sites, again, because they're buried underground. That has not happened over the last 10 days. And so that, again, I think would be an indication, if it happens, that President Trump is moving closer or has made the decision to renew what we would call major combat operations, much more similar to the type of barrage that was seen in the earlier days and weeks of this war.
Fox News Radio's at Jared Halpern. Jared, does that mean a deal is completely off the table at this point?
You know, I asked the president that last week. Certainly the memorandum of understanding is over, right? That ceasefire, that 60-day ceasefire that was supposed to provide the on-ramp for negotiations, that is done. The Iranians have fired at ships. The U.S. has renewed airstrikes. The question is whether or not it can get back on track. And last week I asked the president that question. Is there still a chance for any sort of negotiated settlement? And he suggested, listen, I'm never going to rule that out. They still believe, the administration still believes there are elements within the Iranian leadership that are more moderate and want to make a deal. But so far they are not there yet.
Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern. Before we let you go, Jared, haven't heard much about tariffs lately, but hitting Canada again?
Heard them yesterday. Yeah, 50% tariff on Canada. This would apply to most Canadian imports. It would not apply to energy and to some other sectors, but this would be a major escalation in kind of a trade war that is brewing with Canada. The White House, the president has accused Canada of discriminating against American exports over American goods that are shipped in, dairy, auto products, those types of things. And so they are calling this a retaliatory response to what Canada has done. Obviously, Canada sees it differently. There is now obviously an open question about what the response from Canada is. It was a fairly measured response, at least yesterday, from the Prime Minister, Mark Carney, who said that the Canadians want to engage with the United States on resolving these trade issues. But you have heard from other Canadian lawmakers, including the premiers of the provinces that do a lot of trade with the U.S., British Columbia and Ontario, that are demanding a dollar-for-dollar, tariff-for-tariff response from the Canadians.
Are you going to get to ride on the new Air Force One, or did you before they decommissioned it?
Haven't ridden on it yet. I've seen it. I was on it. I took a tour of it when they did the unveiling. I have not flown on it yet. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get on it before it is maxed out, as the president says.
Maxed out.
Which, again, also may raise questions, not for nothing, at the hearing today with the defense officials.
Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern, on time as scheduled, unlike, well, the host of the show. Jared, always appreciate it, buddy. Thank you so much for the update.
Okay.
All right, we'll get to Brad McElhinny, who's patiently waiting because, well, I totally botched the schedule for the second half hour of this show. He'll join us next, latest on the Greenbrier. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
An irregular heartbeat can be serious. At WVU Medicine, our electrophysiology team offers world-class care, close to home and always within reach, to diagnose and treat heart rhythm disorders with advanced technology and devices. For more information, visit wvumedicine.org/heart.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan. We are here for you.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I had a severe heart attack in November of 2024. And then before I entered into congestive heart failure,
we really had to go towards an LVAD. And not only is he living, he's thriving.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. and they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in-store at Daniel's.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Text line 304 Talk 304. Many of you, yes, we are having some technical issues, I believe involving satellites today, so we apologize for poor audio quality across the network this morning. But the engineers are on it, so I'm told. Or engineer, at least, is on it. So I'm told. But we do apologize for that. Hang with us. Hang with us is all I can ask. MetroNews statewide correspondent Brad McElhinny has been busy this morning. Lawyers for the Greenbrier asking court for more time as they work toward the $500 million finance deal that we've talked about throughout this process of the legal wranglings, as we like to call, as the Greenbrier turns. Brad McElhinny joins us this morning. Brad, we were talking yesterday about Judge Volk's show cause order that he issued on Sunday. The Greenbrier and the Justice Family Businesses has responded. What is the latest?
Well, yeah, you're right. The judge, in this case, U.S. District Judge Frank Volk, on Sunday, told lawyers for the Greenbrier, I'm going to give you till 8:30 Tuesday morning for you to make an argument why we shouldn't get the show on the road with this case, to renew the proceedings, set some hearings, and move forward. So sure enough, 8:21 this morning, the lawyers for the Greenbrier submitted their filing. And I hope you were all sitting down. I know it's storming out there, but please sit down. The Greenbrier has asked for more time, going up to potentially August 7th. And they say that a couple things here. The $500 million deal that they're trying to work out is with the New York firm Kennedy Lewis Investment Management. This filing does, I think, have a degree of confidence because there is a statement from representatives of Kennedy Lewis saying that they agree they're working diligently to complete the transaction. And they intend to go forward. So that's the first time we've heard specifically from Kennedy Lewis, and they say we're on board. We just got to get some things worked out. The Greenbrier, though, says that it's a big financial deal. It's $500 million. It has a lot of moving parts. The transaction would require sign-off by state lottery after a review of the effects on the casino license. Another factor is that as part of the deal with Kennedy Lewis, the current debt holder, White Sulphur Springs Holdings, is being asked to turn over the rights to that debt, to turn over the rights to the first lien debt. And so that's requiring some back and forth too. And it's not done yet. So the Greenbrier and its lawyers have said to the judge, look, Judge, we are making a good faith effort to try to complete this deal, but it's a bigger deal than most people are used to. And we do need, that's about 3 weeks more time. The ball is going to be in the judge's court. And he had already indicated, Judge Volk, that he was potentially running out of patience. So, I don't have any way of knowing the judge's mindset. It is possible that he says, enough's enough. Or it's possible that he says, well, in the grand scheme, a $500 million deal, 3 weeks is, not much, just to allow time to explore. What would you guys do? You be the judge.
Wow. Okay, Brad, looking over these exhibits, it seems like the exhibits in this 8:30 filing this morning, to your point, kind of speak more than the actual filing itself. You've got this letter from KLM, and I assume it's counsel, one Stephanie Ludemuth, I believe I pronounced that correctly, saying the representations in the defendant's response are consistent with KLIM's views of the transaction. So they're not directly warranting anything here or representing anything here, but they're putting their reputation into the case. But Exhibit B, which is a declaration of Stephen R. Ruby, who is the Justice Counsel, this is his reckoning and what he has done, and I would almost say his personal representation of what is happening in this deal beyond just representing the Justice family. So is this a, hey, don't just trust us, the justices, trust KLIM, trust me, Steve Ruby. Is that kind of what these exhibits are saying?
Well, I certainly paid attention to the Kennedy Lewis Investment Management statement, which is pretty short, but it's the first time we've heard from them. Mm-hmm. And, until now, it's been like, do you really have a deal? What, you say you have a deal. Do you have a deal? And so this is Kennedy Lewis saying, yeah, we're here and we're working with them and we think it's moving forward. I think that's important. As to Steve Ruby's statement that's included here. By the way, these documents, I have tweeted them out and they're in the story posted at westvirginiametronews.com if you're interested enough to read yourself. But, I don't think it's super unusual for a lawyer who's been working in the case to provide additional documentation about where it stands. I do think that Steve Ruby, the lawyer, the outside counsel for the justices, is in a unique situation in that he is not only working in this particular court case and communicating to Judge Volk, but I think he has sort of a off-stage role in this where he's reviewing these financial documents. He is the lawyer directly working with Kennedy Lewis Investment Management, and so he's got to kind of narrate that to the judge. The person that it has kind of surprised me that we have not heard from, just because in similar situations we used to, when he was governor, sometimes he didn't like being asked to respond about this stuff, but it was Jim Justice himself. Haven't heard a word from Senator Justice. He's had incredible messaging discipline and just isn't before the public in the way that he used to be. And I don't know if that's, in this case, to his detriment or if it's helping him. But he is, in some ways, a big figure, but out of sight, out of mind on this entire $500 million deal.
I would say, generally speaking, guys, the less you say, probably you benefit from in this case, rather than being out in public saying something that, 3 months later, Brad McElhinny comes back and says, oh, well, you said back on July 21st, whatever it might be. Sorry, Brad. Didn't mean to throw you under the bus there. But TJ, I would say that's probably works to his advantage here to just lay low, let the legal teams try to work this one out, rather than be out in front making promises you may not be able to cash in on.
I agree. I think it's also a yardstick, Dave, of who he's up against.
Yeah.
In the past, when Justice speaks, it's because he's the big guy. He's got the power in the transaction. Not so here. I mean, Omni is bigger than he is. Let's just face it. When you look at the net worths by Forbes or any other comparison that's out there, these guys can buy Justice several times over. So I think it's also an indication of who he is up against that he's not saying as much, Brad. Right or wrong?
I think so. Although, I mean, this is sort of a side topic that I'm about to launch into, but his communication method, now that he's a United States Senator, has been much more sporadic than when he was governor. I mean, not the regular briefings. How often does he come on this show? He just is really choosing to take much less of a high profile communications role than the soapbox he occupied when he was governor.
MetroNews statewide correspondent Brad McElhinny. You can read his update. It's the lead story at wvmetronews.com this morning. Brad, always appreciate it. Thank you so much, buddy.
Hey, thanks. Bye.
Take a break. Back in a moment. Wrap up the first hour. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Are you ready to reach the finish line of retirement? At the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group, we provide comprehensive guidance for retirement planning in West Virginia. With years of experience, we'll draft a plan tailored for your unique goals. Whether you're just starting or nearing retirement, we make the process as simple as possible, easy, and stress-free. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike to set up a complimentary consultation and get started on your plan today. Let's work toward your dream retirement together.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. Generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal? And why not now? Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world!
Of course, the LVA was brought into my life because I had a severe heart attack in November of 2024. And then I entered into congestive heart failure.
Where he was in the course, we really had to go towards an LVAD.
At that point, I was committed. At that point, I wanted to get better, and I wanted to see what this machine was going to do for me.
With this therapy, he's thriving, doing well. And not only is he living, he's thriving.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
We're going to do public math, so it's 31 divided by 4.
Yeah, just under 8 for win.
Just mark it down.
Put Tony and I down
Just
for
go.
8, Coach Hunter. Put us on the prediction show for 8. We already got it. There's the math.
Just go.
Sportsline on Metro News Television.
Jackpots are growing in West Virginia. Jackpots are on the rise every week. Powerball hits Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Mega Millions lights up Tuesdays and Fridays. That's 5 chances a week to get in on life-changing jackpots. Play in-store and online. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. The Powerball jackpot is $567 million. Mega Millions jackpot is $707 million. So go ahead, play today. Text line 304-TALK 304. Tell Brad not to expect an invitation to the Justice Family Christmas party. Yeah, that one's probably not coming in the mail. 304-TALK 304. Judge should ask what's in the $500 million agreement if Justice Family misses any payment. Many of you texting. Did talk to producer Ethan during the break. Engineer Rick is aware of the issue. We're having some audio issues. It is a satellite issue, I am told. And the appropriate people are aware. They think it has something to do with the storms that are now moving into the region, but they are aware. They are working on it. Hang with us. I do apologize for the technical difficulties down the line, but just hang with us there. The proper authorities have been notified.
Let me make a quick observation on Justice, if I can.
Yeah.
Don't be disarmed by the folksy Jim Justice. Justice is shrewd when it comes to business. He's an assassin. I mean that as a compliment. And he knows the lessons of Sun Tzu here. If your enemy is superior in strength, evade him. And when you look at that, you avoid his strongest position. You attack where he's weak. You divide his forces. You prolong the contest. That sound familiar? If time weakens him. Very, very shrewd. So, yeah, he may not be saying much, but he knows what's up. They know what's up. And give him full credit on that. We'll see what happens. May not win, but I wouldn't say that he's outgunned necessarily. Put it that way.
Coming up, second hour of the program, we're going to talk to Adam Cheeseman. He is the superintendent of schools in Doddridge County. They've announced a new partnership this morning. We'll get into that involving internet service. Also, Jeff Monosso will stop by, and later, friend of the program, Mike McKenna. Loaded second hour. Come on back. This is Talkline on Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Ansel here on a Tuesday. Real quick, Eastern Panhandle. You still have a major heat risk up to that today before we get into this cold front. And as it does so, plan for some rather likely chances of rain and storms, so much so we're watching for flash flooding. Most of our state here, find your spot if you're in the green on this map. That's a flood watch. Starts at 1 p.m. today for the most part, and check locally. They either last until 11 o'clock tonight or 2 a.m. tomorrow. There's going to be a risk of excessive rain that could lead to some flash flooding potential. Rain accumulation generally in the state ranges from 1/4 to 2 inches with locally higher amounts. So enough for a slight risk of excessive rain. Scattered flash flooding is in that potential risk for the forecast, and also an enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms. Numerous severe storms are expected this afternoon through this evening. Swaths of damaging winds are the primary threat again, but large hail, and can't rule out a spin up of a tornado. Had a value of 87, low at 66 in Charleston yesterday. Some isolated storms possible in the morning, but our main cold front comes in from the northwest and hits our West Virginia skies not until late tonight or tomorrow morning. Charlotte 94 in your Fly Saber forecast. It starts at home. 95 Orlando, 92 in Atlanta with a chance of a shower. Panhandle to Panhandle. Rainstorms likely. Risk of severe and flash flooding. To the east, still hot, humid. Highs near 90 for some of you. Central areas, risk of severe weather and some heavy rain. To the south, risk of severe and heavy rain. Again, our next cold front from the northwest doesn't move in until overnight and around the morning drive time tomorrow. Showers and storms end sometime likely in the morning, so a slight chance on Wednesday. Thursday's a quiet day, highs 70s and 80s and sunshine, and then we warm up a little for the weekend, highs mid-80s with some slight chances of passing rain and thunder.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Second hour of Metro News Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios. Gang's all here. David Morgantown, TJ in Charleston, Jake Link, the video producer, and Ethan Collins is our audio producer this morning. We appreciate you listening in on one of our great radio affiliates in and around the state of West Virginia. We do apologize. Some technical glitches today, we think, due to the line of thunderstorms that is now moving into the region. But hang with us. You can also listen in on and watch on the Metro News TV app. 800-765-TALK's the phone number. 304-TALK. 304 is the text line. Those are the two ways you can be part of the program. Jeff Monosso going to join us coming up in just a little bit. We'll try to figure out what not to eat and where not to eat it, or something like that, as it pertains to Taylor Farms, contaminated lettuce, and so forth. Also, Mike McKenna, friend of the program, conservative columnist, will join us. He weighs in on term limits and maybe age limits for members of the U.S. House and Senate. We'll talk to him about that. Bottom of the hour. Your calls, texts, and tweets are always welcome as well. Once again, good morning. TJ Meadows down in the Charleston bunker for today's storms. Morning, sir.
Good morning. This caught my eye during the break, Dave, from Bloomberg. OpenAI, that's the company that founded ChatGPT, set to announce today that it has 10 million people using just 2 of its agent products, Codex for coding and ChatGPT Work. So think of that as a product that you would sell to a business that can then allow their employees to use ChatGPT. Now, that grew in just 30 days from 5 million on those 2 products to 10 million. They doubled it. If I were giving away product typically, I couldn't give away free product at that rate, let alone get somebody to pay for it. They have over 900 million weekly users. If that doesn't make the case for AI and why we need to beat China, I don't know what does.
We'll have to do a deeper dive into this because we've kind of scratched the surface here. and the local impacts. I get it, data centers are related to this, but everyone that I read, TJ, commentators, industry experts, economists, AI is going to revolutionize the way we do things.
Absolutely.
And maybe the only comp is the Industrial Revolution, and I don't even know if that is quite comparable because this is moving so quickly, so fast. And you want the rest of the world dependent on your AI, not China's.
Yeah.
And
It's
the economic
biggest
strength
thing-
that comes with that.
Yeah, biggest thing since the wheel, no doubt. Biggest thing since the wheel.
Wow, you're going back to the wheel.
I mean, I say that jokingly, but I don't know that there's ever been a more profound innovation, definitely in the history of America, let alone the world. So we can get into that, but it just caught my eye. I found it astounding, so I had to share.
I'd like to be getting the royalties off that invention. The wheel. Somebody. I kid, but anyway. 304 Talk 304, that's the text line. 800-765-8255. Speaking of technology, a collaborative partnership that launched in 2019 among the Doddridge County Board of Education, the Doddridge County Economic Development Authority, the County Commission, and CityNet has helped to transform broadband access across Doddridge County. That partnership is expanding, and now, throughout the 26-27 upcoming school year, students in the Doddridge County school system will be able to receive complimentary internet September through June. Joining us on MetroNews Talkline this morning is the Superintendent of Schools in Doddridge County, Adam Cheeseman. Adam, good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Dave, thanks for having me. Good morning to you as well.
Absolutely appreciate you coming on. This is an exciting announcement because internet service is not just a novelty. We were just talking about the way AI is going to transform things. To excel in today's education world, internet service is a necessity, and you're partnering with several great partners there to make it happen for students throughout the county.
Absolutely. Excited is certainly the word for it. In 2016, Doddridge County Schools developed and instituted a mission statement of United to Make a Difference. And for the last decade, our board continues to strive to do that by partnering with the commission, the EDA, CityNet. Cannot say enough about this partnership and how great CityNet has been. Really a full circle moment here. I can remember talking with Hoppy in 2019 about the starting of this project. Obviously, COVID came and some things changed a little bit, but what it really showed was the need for each student in Doddridge County, each student in West Virginia, to have quality access for remote learning. And so today, really last night, we announced the project and the partnership. And so all 568 households that have students in Doddridge County will receive free internet through this partnership, through the vision of our board, obviously our current board, but I also have to say the board in 2019. I mean, it's been 7 years now. The vision that was back then, a lot of credit to go around. Extremely excited about giving this opportunity to our kids.
Adam, good morning. It's TJ. Talk about this as an extension of the classroom. I think about that child who really just wants more, who is so eager and is never satisfied with what they learn, and they're in constant mode where they want to ask questions. Talk about what that does for that type of student in Doddridge County that doesn't have internet access now.
Absolutely. TJ, this is a game changer. In a lot of ways, it creates equity, which is something we strive to do. But to your point, it really does give us the opportunity and the flexibility, to change what remote learning could look like. So for the student that wants to dive in deeper and wants to learn more, obviously they have the ability to do that now on their own through research and through that the access. But even think about, snow days. Think about the flexibility the legislature has given with the calendar now changing from 180-day instructional calendar, to hours. There are endless now possibilities that we could look at to best serve kids, and for that matter, also to best serve staff in terms of those remote days. And so we can really maximize instruction now. If a student's not feeling well and has to miss instead of coming back the next day and getting behind, if they're feeling a little better, they could access it now in the nighttime. And there's just countless opportunities instructionally that this gives our students a chance to succeed, and that's what we're about.
Talking to Adam Cheeseman, he's Doddridge County Schools Superintendent. Adam, the original project to build out the broadband network in Doddridge County, how large of an undertaking was this for the county commission to get into, the school system, CityNet, all the partners that came together for this? This wasn't an easy project, string a couple of cables, here and there. You're talking about building out throughout the entire county.
Yeah, and that's what's really, I'm really glad you asked that, because that's what's really unique about this. We believe in Doddridge County that the answer to public education, one of the answers to public education, is to develop strong public-private partnerships. We talk a lot about our students leaving West Virginia, our people leaving West Virginia, and how can we get them to stay? Well, guys, I think the answer is through education, and I think the answer is through developing these strong public-private partnerships where students can learn and grow, and then, go to work, right into the workforce. So CityNet and Doddridge County Schools partnered in an even deeper way on an academic level. We have a public-private partnership, developed a localized curriculum to where our entrepreneurship students in that pathway, they actually have an entire lesson, entire unit on CityNet and getting them prepared. What does it take to work for CityNet? What are the ins and the outs? What are the job opportunities? And then CityNet has committed on the back end. They go through that localized curriculum. Well, they then will seek to employ these students. And so way back in 2019, when we launched all this, we started that process. The board, in particular, allocated about $600,000. The county commission believed it was about 1.2. The entire project was like 1.8. Now, what nobody knew was what was coming in 2020. And while that was obviously a very difficult time, just in general, a hard thing to live through, a hard thing to go through, there's always some positive, there's always some good that comes out of all. I believe that. And one of those was the fact that CityNet could then secure millions of dollars, $14 million plus in federal money that they could build out, the broadband throughout the county. And they've worked tirelessly. They've been committed. This project, this announcement, we had to be a little patient. Obviously, starting 2019 out of 26, it took some time. But it has been a full team effort. The commission has been involved, the EDA actively involved. And this goes to show what happens when local entities and communities come together for the betterment of kids, to see them succeed. And so extremely proud of our community, proud of all of the work, but hats off, to obviously my board with the vision, hats off to CityNet for their continued work. The CEO, Jim Martin, Drew Pomeroy, these guys are invested, they're committed to Doddridge County, and we appreciate that.
Outstanding. Kudos to everybody. Great job. Let's think bigger. How do you get your other 54 county superintendents, your counterparts, to start to think about programs like this? Because I'll tell you what you have here, Adam, and I know you realize this, but for those that may not that are listening, you've got a roadmap here. You've already done the tough work. And so it's so much easier for someone to come in and take this roadmap and maybe not only in talking about broadband, but whatever the need is, deploy this roadmap to solve that need in a county school system. How do you get your counterparts to start thinking about doing this?
Sure. Well, the first thing I would say is that being a superintendent of schools, I started in 2016, and I saw a lot of turnover, a lot of change in the superintendency. It's not an easy position to be in, and I know my 54 colleagues love kids. They're here to serve kids. All of us have unique counties. All of us have unique dynamics that we've got to deal with. But I would encourage each one of them, as I've done throughout, my tenure, to seek out these public-private partnerships. And, it doesn't take, obviously revenue helps. We all know that. That's the talk right now with public education, funding public education, the state aid formula, all of those pieces. So we know that money matters, but money doesn't replace vision. And so I do encourage them. I encourage the other counties, County Board of Education, to seek out the businesses that are in their area. And for years, guys, how we've partnered with local industry has been, hey, we need a new scoreboard. Could you pay for that? And we'll put your name on it, right? That seems to be the partnership. We want to take this a step further and actually partner in an academic, on an academic level. And so we've done this with CityNet. We've got about 7 different public-private partnerships, local curriculums with industries around the Doddridge County area. And the reality is that doesn't take a lot of money. What it does, it takes time, it takes some effort, it takes some vision, and so yeah, continuing to encourage that. Again, each county superintendent, they're in it. They're in it for kids, and they got their own unique circumstances to deal with. But certainly would encourage that. It's some work. It's a phone call. It's developing relationships with these industries. But I truly believe that is between that and serving the holistic child. I believe that is the secret to what we have seen in Doddridge County, the success that our kids are experiencing. And certainly would encourage all counties to look to do that. And obviously, if it can work here, it can work other places. And so if somebody would like this roadmap, somebody would like this, it is readily accessible. We want to see all kids in West Virginia succeed.
Adam Cheeseman, Doddridge County Schools Superintendent, announcement this morning, the partnership between Doddridge County Schools, the Economic Development Authority, Doddridge County Commission, CityNet, expanding, offering complimentary internet service to students throughout the 26-27 school year. More information on enrollment and additional program details will be coming up a little bit closer to the start of the fall semester. Adam, congratulations on the announcements. Nice work, and thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, TJ. Appreciate what you do.
Absolutely. Coming up, we'll check in. Fox News Radio's Jeff Monosso. Is it safe to eat lettuce yet? Just have a pepperoni roll. It's Talkline from the Cove Insurance Studios.
Picture a community where every space tells a story. Those are the communities we're designing at ZMM Architects and Engineers. With a blend of creativity and technical expertise, we design spaces that inspire, innovate, and ignite change. From cutting-edge educational facilities to community-centric gathering spaces, we're committed to improving lives through design. Let us help you shape a brighter future for generations to come. Because at ZMM, it's more than architecture. It's about building your legacy.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
Located in the heart of West Virginia, Bridgeport is the place to play. Endless indoor and outdoor recreation opportunities, including the Bridgeport Complex, coupled with a dynamic food scene, make Bridgeport the perfect getaway destination for couples and families. Explore unique shopping and pick from a wealth of lodging options to find something perfect for your needs. Explore the heart of West Virginia in Bridgeport. Learn more about all there is to do at greater-bridgeport.com.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
The 2026 West Virginia Prep Football Showcase partnered with Coalfields & Company.
The premier program across all classes in the state.
Analysis from Travis Jones and Joe Brigado. See the players and program shaping the 2026 season. Watch high school football athletes compete in the 40-yard dash, 5-10-5 shuttle, and broad jump. Streaming live July 25th on Metro News Television, YouTube, and Facebook.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. panhandle cleaning and restoration.
At Daniels Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniels is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in-store at Daniels.
I had a severe heart attack in November of 2024. And then I entered into congestive heart failure.
We really had to go towards an LVAD. And not only is he living, he's thriving.
Need a truck that's ready for work, weekends, and everything in between? Right now at Dan Cava GMC, get up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierra 1500, or save up to $4,000 off all new GMC Canyon Elevations, offering bold styles, advanced technology, and everyday practicality. Come explore our all-new GMC Yukons, built for busy families and big adventures. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop Thorold.
All right, I double-checked. I have Monosso for 11:20. We'll see if we can get connected. Mike McKenna joining us, bottom of the hour. He weighs in on term limits and age limits for congressmen and women. We'll get into that coming up bottom of the hour. In the meantime, let's check the text line, 304-TALK-304. TJ, do you understand that the $7 trillion that has been invested in AI and data centers is not being invested to run language models or make it easier for Amazon to advertise to you? The investment is being made as a bet that AI will be able to take over manufacturing. That is what the investment is being used for. The investment is being made to replace jobs. That is why there is such a run on AI and data centers right now. It's not so Amazon can get that advertisement to you. It's to replace human capital. I don't think you understand that.
I think I do. This texter and I have been texting back and forth. Look, innovation of any kind is disruptive. And as I said at the top of the show, I think AI is the biggest innovation since the wheel. So, of course, it will be disruptive. Everything has. You know, we used to have a ton of whalers in this country a couple hundred years ago. They would go out every day and get a whale because we used whale oil for light. Then Rockefeller came up with kerosene. It disrupted the industry. People did something else. They found something else. And AI is a tool. I think the people who will thrive are the people who embrace it, rather than the people that want to run away from it. Those who embrace it, learn how to use it, learn how to be a prompt master, learn how to get past its shortcomings in terms of how you prompt the question, what you can have it do. Those are the people who are going to excel. I think I'm all in on AI, but maybe we've crossed wires, this particular texter and I. But no, it'll be disruptive. I do not think it will be disruptive to the point where the government needs to come in with something like a universal basic income. Industries adapt. People adapt. You find different skills. You find different ways to monetize things you can do and can't do, or you use AI to monetize your business and give you more opportunity. So I don't buy into this entire, now we're going to have to hand out paychecks because of AI. I don't buy into that. But I'm all in. I thought I was all in. Did you think I was all in, Dave?
I knew you were all in. That was pretty clear to me. You know, again, there's a lot of different ways to go when it comes to the AI conversation. It's moving so fast. Mm-hmm. We don't know what the next thing is. We know it's big. We know it is going to transform the economy, the way we do business, the way we manufacture. I don't think we've figured out the how yet. How is it going to do that? And I think that gives us a lot of angst. You know, is it going to replace jobs? Am I going to be 60 years old and have to find a new line of work? I understand the angst, TJ, because we're still trying to figure out the how. We figured out that this is big, and we need to beat China, for emphasis on it. But the how, we're still trying to figure that out. And we will. We will, as a society, as a culture, figure that out.
Let me qualify this. AI is huge, and it's the biggest thing yet. Even AI will be dwarfed by quantum computing. And this is a precursor. This is getting the machinery ready. This is getting the think tank and the ability to innovate ready so that we don't lose that war with an adversary who thinks differently from we do and values things differently than we do. That's why we need to be ahead. It's all about values and how these tools espouse our values and what we believe as Americans to be wholesome and correct and the society that we want to live in, democracy, a republic versus a communist way of thinking, a socialist way of thinking. With that said, AI, hugely important, no doubt. Quantum computing is really what turns things and really what I think will end up being far larger than what AI is. We'll see if I'm right or see if I'm wrong.
Texter says, to my children, my advice is get on board with AI or get left behind. I don't think they're going to have a problem. They're growing up with it. The kids
they're growing up with it.
They're growing up with these things that we are trying to figure out as adults. They're going to grow up with them. It's going to be second nature. I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Texter says, I'm not even a pure capitalist, but for every economy you lose, you create a new one.
Bingo.
Points out the texter. All right, coming up, Mike McKenna will join us. He has a new piece out this week for the Washington Times. Very similar. Maybe he copied TJ's homework from a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to accuse him of that, by the way.
No.
Talking about term limits and age limits for our lawmakers. We'll dive into that conversation coming up. 304-TALK, 304. That's the text line, 800-765-TALK's the phone number. This is Talkline on Metro News. For 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. It's 11:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Selango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Ansel here on a Tuesday. Real quick, Eastern Panhandle. You still have a major heat risk up to that today before we get into this cold front. And as it does so, plan for some rather likely chances of rain and storms, so much so we're watching for flash flooding. Most of our state here, find your spot if you're in the green on this map. That's a flood watch. Starts at 1 p.m. today for the most part, and check locally. They either last until 11 o'clock tonight or 2 a.m. tomorrow. There's going to be a risk of excessive rain that could lead to some flash flooding potential. Rain accumulation generally in the state ranges from 1/4 to 2 inches, with locally higher amounts. So enough for a slight risk of excessive rain. Scattered flash flooding is in that potential risk for the forecast, and also an enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms. Numerous severe storms are expected this afternoon through this evening. Swaths of damaging winds are the primary threat again, but large hail, and can't rule out a spin up of a tornado. Had a value of 87, low at 66 in Charleston yesterday. Some isolated storms possible in the morning, but our main cold front comes in from the northwest and hits our West Virginia skies not until late tonight or tomorrow morning. Charlotte 94 in your Fly Super forecast. It starts at home. 95 Orlando, 92 in Atlanta with a chance of a shower. Panhandle to Panhandle. Rainstorms likely. Risk of severe and flash flooding. To the east, still hot, humid. Highs near 90 for some of you. Central areas, risk of severe weather and some heavy rain. To the south, risk of severe and heavy rain. Again, our next cold front from the northwest doesn't move in until overnight and around the morning drive time tomorrow. Showers and storms end sometime likely in the morning, so a slight chance on Wednesday. Thursday's a quiet day, highs 70s and 80s and sunshine, and then we warm up a little for the weekend, highs mid-80s with some slight chances of passing rain and thunder.
This is Ben Selango with Selango Law. Selango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Selango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Selango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at selangolaw.com.
The 2026 West Virginia Prep Football Showcase partnered with Coalfields & Company.
The premier program across all classes in the state.
Analysis from Travis Jones and Joe Brigado. See the players and programs shaping the 2026 season. Watch high school football athletes compete in the 40-yard dash, 5-10-5 shuttle, and broad jump. Streaming live July 25th on Metro News Television, YouTube, and Facebook.
Text line is 304-TALK-304. Phone number is 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. CityNet is West Virginia's local internet provider. High-speed, reliable fiber internet is probably right at your front door, and now is the perfect time to connect. Local customer support you can trust, perfect for working from home, streaming, gaming, running your business, remote learning. Just throwing that out there. Fast, reliable fiber internet built for everyday life. When it's high-speed internet you need, CityNet connects, protects, and perfects. A couple of texts here. We'll get connected with Mike McKenna momentarily. 304-TALK-304 is the text line. 800-765-8255, the phone number. Guys, when cars came about, they replaced roughly 150,000 horses in New York City and 1,200 to 1,500 tons of manure they produced daily. Some folks would have us stifle innovation and live in a world full of crap, says the texter.
Well put.
AI equals Terminator. Any questions? Yeah, eventually the machines become sentient. I mean, we all know how it's going to end. 304-TALK, 304. All right, we'll get to that one coming up. That one warrants at least some reaction. 304-TALK, 304. That's the text line. 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. That is the phone number. Has the old guard overstayed its welcome? Term limits and age limits deserve serious debate. That was written by Mike McKenna. He's a conservative columnist for the Washington Times. In fact, we had a very similar conversation just a couple of weeks ago here, or maybe a week ago, on this very program. Please welcome Mike McKenna. Mike, good morning. Good to talk to you again.
Good to talk to you guys.
All right. Is the old guard too old? What's your take?
Yeah, I think so. We had half the Senate is over the age of 70, right? I don't know anybody who can think that's a good idea, right? And if you think about it, and I put this in the column, Ben Franklin was the old guy at the Constitutional Convention. He was 70, right? He'd be right in the dead center of the Senate now. So, Thomas Jefferson was 33 when he wrote the Declaration. Adams was 41 that year. Washington was 44. I mean, I just don't see how an active, thriving republic can be led by folks who are thinking about what are they going to do in their, in their nursing homes. It's not a fuss at old people. It's just one of those things.
Mike, I think your piece is spot on. Here's my question. Will a senator step forward at some point in their 60s or 70s or whatever, an early enough age to where it illustrates the point, and say, my fellow Americans, my time has come. I have no business telling the next generation what their hopes and dreams should be. We need new thoughts, new voices. I'm stepping aside after 2 terms or whatever it may be. Will anyone have that political gumption to actually do it and hopefully start a solid conversation about this issue in this country?
No. The best you're going to get is somebody's going to wake up one morning and say, I don't want to be a senator anymore because this place drives me batty. But, the chances that, people, I mean, look, there are people in politics with whom I agree and people with whom I disagree. But what they all have in common is they want to rule us, right? They've climbed over a lot of wreckage to get there. They're not just going to give it up voluntarily. People. George Washington was the last guy who probably gave up power voluntarily in this country.
Mike McKenna joining us, Washington Times columnist, conservative columnist. Guys, it's going to if you look at this generationally, and this is how I look at this conversation. It's going to take, and here we go, a couple of Gen Xers and an old millennial talking about age limits and term limits. It's going to take a generation, whether it's Gen X, millennials, Gen Z, whatever, the alphas, whatever their next ones are called. Somebody's going to have to make that sacrifice, right? And say, no, we're going to put this limit in. We're going to put this in, and we're not going to serve 10 terms, in the House of Representatives. We're not going to serve 8 terms in the Senate. But by the time you get to that point where you have that ability, like Mike said, you don't want to give it up. I don't know how this conversation takes a serious nature, Mike, other than just being an academic exercise by the younger generation who wants the older guys out of there.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that too, right? How, if you think about it, the vibe has always been in the other direction to expand this stuff, right? Give the votes to 18-year-olds, give the vote to women, right? It's always been to expand the franchise, and this, age limits or term limits would I don't want to say, minimize the franchise, but would impair it a little bit, right? Because you wouldn't get to vote for whoever you wanted to. You'd be constrained. The only way it happens is if we wind up with some real problem, some kind of crisis situation where the fella in charge or the fellows in charge are clearly unable to fulfill the duties of their office. Like say we have a war going on, and the senior defense appropriator in the Senate is in a hospital and hasn't been seen by anybody other than his wife for like 2 weeks. Well, wait a minute. That's the situation we have now. I always think we're going to need a crisis. I always underestimate the size of the crisis we need. I think, it's going to have to be a fairly significant thing.
So the crisis is there. I don't want to give up the ghost yet on there's someone that still has a higher value on the way Washington would have handled this, to your point. Washington the man, not Washington the person. Is there someone like a Jeff Bezos and a Joe Manchin that get together from both worlds here and say enough is enough? We're going to lead the charge on a constitutional amendment, or we're going to fight the fight. I mean, is there anybody out there that can make a case that would resonate with the American public?
Yeah, I think so. I hadn't thought about Jeff Bezos, but somebody with money. Yeah,
juice and
I
money.
can imagine that, and
juice and money.
and somebody who, somebody who has in fact stepped aside, for reasons either good and sufficient or kind of questionable. But I think the right answer is it's going to require people to see the problem first, and I think people are starting to see the problem, and then like usually happens in America, once the student is ready, the teacher appears, and I think that's probably going to happen at some point. Whether it's going to be enough to overcome all that systemic inertia, who knows? Who knows? It's going to be tough. But part of the reason why I wrote that thing was because I think it's really important. The funny thing is, I didn't realize it was as bad as it was. I figured there's maybe 20 senators or 70. 50. It's crazy. 10% of America is over the age of 70, and half of them seem to be sitting in the United States Senate.
Mike McKenna is joining us, Washington Times columnist, conservative columnist. You know what, though, Mike? We could fast forward 20 years when the three of us are in the Senate and the House of Representatives, and whoever's hosting this program, some young whippersnapper, is going to be saying the same thing. Again, I don't know how we break the cycle unless some generation says we are willing to give up this authority. And so far, no generation has been willing to do that.
Yeah, I agree. That's part of the problem, right? Everybody says, "Hey, man, it's my turn," and like you say, somebody's going to have to understand it's not their turn. Their turn is going to get passed over. I don't. In no way do I want to equate it to wartime, because it's not equatable. But it is sort of the same kind of lottery that we're playing, right? If you were born in the wrong years, guess what? You went off to fight World War II, right? It wasn't great, but you're you lost you lost the luck of the draw. I think we're probably going to need something like that.
I ponder other countries, and obviously with the new British Prime Minister, I haven't done the math, Mike. Maybe you have, but I'm not putting you on the spot at all. But given the parliamentary system that they have in England, I wonder what the average age of Parliament is. I mean, do they have these kinds of issues with 70 and 80-year-olds in the House of Commons? I'm just wondering if our system somehow manifested this. And again, I'm a pro-Republic guy, but I'm wondering, does that play a role?
Yeah, I don't know, but I will tell you right now, I guarantee you the average age in Parliament is less, because they just have a lot fewer built-in protections for incumbents, right? The problem here is the incumbents have all the advantages, which is why 95% of incumbents who get contested wind up winning. So I guarantee the parliamentary system doesn't have that same kind of some kind of incentive structure. All right.
Why do you want to serve that? This is the part I can't. Maybe you guys I don't know if you're the same way. If I get to 75, 80 years old, I don't want to go to Congress. I don't want to be working on legislation in the Senate. I want to be sitting on a front porch overlooking my vast empire that I've built, whatever that might be at that point, Mike. I mean, I don't understand the motivation at that age wanting to put in, or maybe they're not putting in the time and work and effort that it takes to do that job effectively, but I'd want to be relaxing, taking it easy, enjoying my empire, whatever that is.
Yeah, well, okay, see, and I understand that because you're a normal person. You're well-adjusted. You know, your self-worth isn't all tangled up in whatever it is you do for a living, right? You're just like, hey, man, if I could make money and mind my own business and sit around and drink beer, I'd do that, right? But for a lot of these guys, their self-worth is all tangled up in being senators. And if you think about it, and House members too, if you think about it, these guys, when they're in town, you know, people give them money, you know, call it fundraising. Everybody wants to know what they think. Everybody asks them their opinion. When they're home, everybody, pardon my French, kisses their asses and like, hey, you're doing a great job, Senator. You know, they don't get a lot of negative feedback. There's no feedback in their lives that says, hey, man, maybe it's time to do something else. And like I said, even if they got that feedback, their entire psyche is organized to be like, drop dead. I'm going to stay here until I can't stay here anymore. And in lots of cases of senators going out feet first.
Well, Mike, I think a lot of their net worth is measured in power. It's never been measured in money. So they've built their life building power more than monetary. But here's the last thought I want to throw at you. You know, is power so addictive that in the span of a week, Darlene Graham, who was not going to run, now says she's running?
Yeah. I don't know Senator Graham's sister. So I don't want this to be interpreted as all a reflection on her because I don't know her. But one of the Roman emperors once noted that he could make his horse a senator, and that it would be as much value as a senator was to him. Now, we're not quite there yet, but we're starting to edge into that territory, right? This is a lady who's never had any legislative experience, to the best of my knowledge, right? Her sole experience is she's the sibling of a senator. And yet, within a week, everyone's going to line up behind her and start giving her money, and she's going to be the next senator from South Carolina.
It's good to be the kingmaker.
It's legit insane.
He's Michael McKenna. You can read his piece at the Washington Times. Congress, old guard has overstayed its welcome. Mike, we always appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. We'll get your text coming up, 304-TALK, 304. That's the text line, 800-765-8255, 800-765-TALK. That's the phone number. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
West Virginia's grid is old, overloaded, and falling behind. That means fewer jobs, less investment, and a future we can't afford to risk. Marl is the fix. A modern transmission line that strengthens reliability, attracts manufacturing, and puts West Virginians to work. Investment here, jobs here, a more reliable, stronger grid right here. Learn more at powerwvnow.org. Paid for by West Virginians for reliable and affordable energy.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
Of course, the LVA was brought into my life because I had a severe heart attack in November of 2024. And then I entered into congestive heart failure.
Where he was in the course, we really had to go towards an LVAD.
At that point, I was committed. At that point, I wanted to get better, and I wanted to see what this machine was going to do for me.
With this therapy, he's thriving, doing well. And not only is he living, he's thriving.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia,
The High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the road.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Jackpots are growing in West Virginia. Jackpots are on the rise every week. Powerball hits Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Mega Millions lights up Tuesdays and Fridays. That's 5 chances a week to get in on life-changing jackpots. Play in-store and online. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. The Powerball jackpot is $567 million. Mega Millions jackpot is $707 million, so go ahead, play today. Rest of the show is yours. We'll get to some text, 304-TALK, 304. Again, keeping an eye on the storms that are, I think they have reached West Virginia at this point. I don't have any windows. I can't see outside. But Bryan Hughes, MetroNews meteorologist, keeping track of that. So stick with Metro News throughout the day and your local affiliates for the latest updates on the weather that is approaching and arriving. To the text line, you guys are huffing AI farts. AI is a convenient tool, not a necessity for life. It's like saying cruise control has revolutionized driving, says the texter. Thoughts?
A complete lack of reality would be my first. Cruise control to AI, talk about apples and oranges. But appreciate it.
Bad comparison, but this is the only one I can come up with, TJ. Would be, could you do business today without utilizing the internet at all?
No.
Well, you could. You wouldn't be successful at it.
No, you'd be put out of business because somebody else would be faster and more efficient.
20 years ago, does that go back far? That doesn't go back far enough. 30 years ago, the internet was exactly what the texter just described. It was a convenience tool. It wasn't necessary for your business. If you were running a lawn care business, you didn't need to be on the internet in 1995. In 2026, you better have some sort of internet presence, or you're not going to get jobs. You're not going to get clients, right?
Yeah. I mean, businesses are no different from human beings. From the day they are born, they are dying. That is the reality. And how well a business is managed, how it is able to adapt and innovate determines its runway and how long it will survive. Don't believe me? Just look at the number of businesses that have failed and have not been able to adapt to their competitors and are no longer in business. I mean, you ever heard of Blockbuster?
I miss Blockbuster.
Probably not, but
we have.
Yeah, we have.
But to your point, and that's where I draw the comparison. AI, we use it. It's a convenience tool. It's a bit of a novelty. We can use it for things now that makes our jobs easier. 25 years from now, in 2050, it's going to be a necessity. And we had better beat the Chinese to it.
I used AI, was it Monday? Yesterday? Yeah, Monday. To run a Monte Carlo analysis, which is a personal finance analysis on my retirement figures that normally I would either have to pay someone to do who has software or buy software that's like $300 a year. I did it yesterday on ChatGPT Finance and easy peasy. Shows me the work. Adapt or die. If you want to pay $300 a year for the same analysis you can get for no subscription, then hey, go at it. Have at it.
304-TALK, 304. Those opposing AI are still shopping with the Sears. Aren't they still shopping with the Sears catalog? Are they?
I do miss getting those at Christmas time. It was nice to look at all the gifts when I was a kid.
You could rip out pages, plant them around the house for hints. Guys, I think you beat the term limits and age limits thing to death. Ha! Says the texter.
But ching.
Dave and TJ, has the Democratic Party changed their energy plan since the Biden administration? Asks the texter.
This is going to get me in trouble. Has the Democratic Party ever had an energy plan that makes sense at a national level? I would say no.
Texter says a large majority of Senate and House members can't effectively write technology legislation because they don't understand the technology. Look, I'm not discounting, with age comes wisdom, but at some point you have to have enough wherewithal to say, I have done what I can do, and it is time for the next generation to I look at this thing generationally. It's time for the next generation to step up and lead. And that's a tough thing. That takes a lot of self-awareness, I think, to make that decision. And, well, you can see Congress.
Will Mayo, who was one of the brothers, along with the dad, that founded the Mayo Clinic, one of the best quotes I've ever heard said, and I'm paraphrasing, I have no business determining what is important or what should be for the next generation. I'm wholly unqualified to do that. I'm here to serve now for my generation, and the next generation's problems are best solved by that generation. A lot of wisdom there if Washington would listen.
Now, let me throw this with, 30 seconds to go before the break here, before our final break of the day, TJ.
Mm-hmm.
Been a little, roughing up the older generation. Is enough of our generation, Gen X, millennials, stepping up to fill those roles? Are enough qualified, quality people of our age stepping into these roles that we are talking about, wanting to step into these roles that we are talking about?
I would argue if you had these term limits, Washington would be less politicized and more about policy, and you would have more people that care about policy over politics step up to serve. So yes is the short answer. I think it could be.
I'm glad it was a short answer because we have to take our final break. We're back in a moment.
For over 30 years, High Technology Foundation has been committed to building a stronger West Virginia. Our mission, economic diversification. By fostering innovation and supporting tech initiatives, we pave the way for a brighter future. From cutting-edge research to tech-driven solutions, we're transforming the landscape. Join us in creating opportunities and driving progress. Let's build a diverse economy together. Visit WVHTF.org. High Technology Foundation, shaping West Virginia's future.
Approach your retirement with confidence. With over 150 years of combined experience, the advisors of the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group provide advice and wealth management strategies to individuals, families, small businesses, professional offices, and institutions. With the Stike team, you'll have access to an advising team with extensive resources, a client-first mindset, and a passion for helping transform the lives of those we serve. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike today and join the team that's dedicated to your success.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I had a severe heart attack in November of 2024. And then I entered into congestive heart failure.
We really had to go towards an LVAD. And not only is he living, he's thriving.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world!
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in store at Daniel's.
In 1914, The same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
I kid my friend who just texted me, by the way, and said, no blanking cheese. You don't want him there because
not everyone's going to have cheese.
He's going to go up to everybody there and start turning over their carts. You are illegitimate.
Midday on Metro News Television.
Texter says, hey guys, do you remember the Sears Winnie the Pooh clothes that had a little turtleneck that had a Winnie the Pooh on the chest? And the head thing for the turtleneck was about as big as the size of a sleeve. You couldn't fit your pumpkin head through it. I remember crying in the dressing room at Sears, says the texter.
Those were the days.
I didn't Sorry, I made you relive your childhood trauma there. This Winnie the Pooh clothes.
I wonder why some in our generation need counseling. Prime example right there.
Looks like a pink nightmare. All right, follow the news of the day over at the website, wvmetronews.com. Stick with your local affiliates on updates on the weather across the state. Be safe, be dry. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning at 10:06. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.